Welcome to this month's Portside with the Pilots. I'm your host, Jamie Hudson. Here's what we have for you on this month's show. Coming up, a look at the annual St. Baldrick's event that raises money for childhood cancer research.
It's so crazy how many people are just all about it and they love coming out.
Also, a spring update on the UP men's soccer team who captured the WCC title this past fall.
The guys who left, their tradition and their culture that they instilled in us is always going to be here. We want to make sure our habits are the same as the fall because we had a championship culture and we want to maintain that.
But first, baseball sophomore Kevin Baker has made a name for himself on the mound for the Pilots this season. He is among the nation's best in strikeouts per 9 innings, and he struck out a career-high 11 in a 3-2 win over Santa Clara at the beginning of April. Baker is a nursing major here at the University of Portland, which is not a common major for student athletes. But he has managed both his rigorous baseball and nursing schedules with the help of UP faculty, classmates, and the coaching staff.
I'm preparing to give a flu shot to my patient, Mr. Wren right here. Do it for 15 seconds to really ensure that we're scrubbing this properly. Infection control is the name of our game, right?
My biggest focus coming to this school was nursing. It's always been my goal to play Division I college baseball, and I knew that coming here. My coach in high school said that I definitely could have a shot playing here if I just tried to walk on. I just didn't go about the process of getting recruited by Division I schools correctly. I felt like I was kind of okay with it because I kind of fell in love with this new nursing path that I could have been taking.
We have 10,000 units per milliliter and we want just 5,000 units. Stab it in there, boom. Flip it upside down. And again, this said I want 0.5 mils. Write down the units that I'm using, so 0.5 milliliters. Boom.
Before I even started here, baseball was always on the radar for me. It was always an option that I wanted to pursue. Summer going into my sophomore year is when I found out that there was going to be a new coaching staff. I contacted my high school coach and he got a hold of Jake Valentine, who's one of the assistant coaches on our team, and he was the one that I talked to on the phone. It worked out really well. They gave me a tryout, and luckily I lit up the gun a little bit during that tryout and impressed them enough to get a spot on the team.
He came out, threw a quick bullpen for us, was 89 miles per hour, which was plenty good enough to pitch at the Division I level, and so we invited him to be on the team. The thing is, he got told no once, and then he kept after it and came back and gave it another shot. And you know, a lot of kids, after they get told no, would just give it up, and it shows some perseverance on his part that it was pretty important to him to give it a shot.
I don't miss a ton of class, and when I do miss class, the faculty is very, very, very helpful, and I really appreciate all that they do for the program.
We have two types of clinical. There's on-campus clinical with our simulated patients, and there's off-campus clinical where he's in direct patient care with human beings. This semester, he has 3 hours a week in on-campus clinical, and that doesn't include the time that he needs to come in on his own and practice essential skills like sterile technique, medication administration, and physical assessment.
And then you get the next one, which is on the same side of the sternum, just in the 5th intercostal space.
He approached me at the beginning of the semester and said, I'm not looking for any special favors, and yet I know that I'm going to have games that conflict with assignments and exam dates. How can we work together to make this happen?
The nursing department here is one of the best in the country. There's a lot of demands of their students, just like there's demand on a Division I student athlete. If you want to be elite as a nurse or you want to be elite as a baseball player, you've got to find the time to do it. And really, he's come along and figured out a way to manage that time and be successful at both.
A 3-pitch strikeout to start the bottom of the 4th for Baker.
In every single one of my lecture classes that are the same students, so I see the same faces every day, which is nice because we consider ourselves a team and we work together. And a lot of the professors say, when you're in nursing school, put your pride aside. You want your entire team of nurses to work together to ensure that all your patients are safe and healthy. All my classmates are very supportive. We all work together very well to ensure that we're all going to make it through together, just like baseball.
It's not easy to pitch at the Division I level, and as a guy who basically took a year off, he's starting to figure out what he's good at, and he's becoming really good at that aspect. And a few things that he's worked on over the course of the past 18 months are starting to show up He's in really good shape. He's been one of our most reliable arms, and he's starting to develop multiple pitches, not just the fastball slider combination that he has.
Now the 1-2 on the outside corner, called strike 3. That's strikeout number 9, and that matches his career high.
Between year 1 and year 2, year 1 you feel happy just to be there. Now it's about success, it's about winning, it's about doing my job for the team, it's about growing as much as I can.
We definitely are graduating individuals who are ready to serve the world, ask deeper questions, seek meaning in life, and really be centered at the core about what they value. He is doing a great job. It's just a good fit. It's also a good fit with the profession.
And all you want to do is at a straight 90-degree angle, just boom, right in there.
The concept of juggling both of them is very challenging. However, I think it's so rewarding at the same time. Whether I'm lucky enough to get picked up from a professional team or having nursing as my career that I can carry out for the rest of my life is just so fulfilling. And I think it's an awesome pair to have. It is challenging, it is time consuming, but if you love it that much, it doesn't really matter.
Just pinch it a little bit, no splay. I'm gonna go in instead of just straight down, 45-degree angle. And removing, boom. And the patient has gotten his medicine. So that's how you do that.
Coming up on Portside, an update on the UP men's soccer spring season.
Guys step up and fill the voids, and it's kind of a next guy up mentality. So the freshmen who were here last year did a great job, and now they're gonna have bigger roles.
Welcome back to Portside. Last fall, the University of Portland men's soccer team captured the West Coast Conference Championship under first-year head coach Nick Carlin-Voigt. Though the Pilots have 9 seniors graduating, they do welcome a top 5 nationally ranked recruiting class to the Bluff this fall. With another challenging spring schedule, which includes a result at Seattle Sounders 2 of the USL, the Pilots are eager to repeat last year's success.
Time is going to run out on the Gales, and the Portland Pilots are the 2016 West Coast Conference champions.
We know the honeymoon phase is over, and we have a big target on our back now in the conference, being the defending champs. The guys continue to push and work and grind, and so far so good.
We know what to expect now, and we've kind of been in the system for a little while, so now the motivation is can we be better than we were last spring? And for a lot of us who were here last spring, we know how much the spring helped us last year into last fall and how much that played into our success. So the motivation is, can we have a better spring this year, and hopes that it'll lead to a better fall next year.
I think we're even more hungry than last spring because we've obviously seen that in the fall that what we believe we can accomplish is achievable, and we're just continuing to push each other so that when the fall comes, we're able to go that much further. The guys who left, their tradition and their culture that they instilled in us is always going to be here. We want to make sure our habits are the same as the fall because we had a championship culture and we want to maintain that.
We're definitely ahead of where we were last year, I think, in this position at this point in time, and everyone's working hard, and I think it's going to pay off.
Recruiting is something we take a lot of pride in. It was great to have a national ranking of 5th or 6th in the country. To be honest, I don't put a lot of stock into those rankings. Those rankings don't win championships, and it's great that we're a destination for top players who have options, you know, in the ACC, in the Big Ten, in the Pac-12, and they're coming to the University of Portland. And so we're excited about bringing 8 new players into the program. We'll announce a few more in the weeks ahead, and we continue to grow the depth of the program and continue to not just recruit talented players, but guys who fit into our culture of team first mentality, of the team being the star, and guys who are going to do well academically, as UP is an elite, rigorous academic institution.
Nick's brought in another great recruiting class, and we're looking forward to getting those guys on campus and getting them involved in the culture and the team. But also with the guys we have here, guys step up and fill the voids, and it's kind of a next guy up mentality. So the freshmen who were here last year did a great job, and now they're going to have bigger roles, and now we have a new role of leaders and new roles of guys that just need to step up and fill spots. And I think everyone's motivated to do that and excited to do that.
The goal is just to be better today than you were yesterday and to continue to look in the mirror and improve yourself. We've had good results this spring, although the results mean very little. We were able to get a lead on the Seattle Sounders 2, ended up drawing 1-1, and then we played Timbers 2 very well. It was 3-3 at the end of the day, and spring is really a time to teach and review games and go back and look at things that we did well and look at things that have to get better for the fall. And so that process is never ending. And that process is fun because we're very process oriented here in our program of finding ways to get 10–20% more out of the group.
Just continuing to push each other and make sure that when the first whistle goes of the first game of the season, we're all ready, and that we know that we want to go even further than last season and that we're not satisfied with just winning the WCC. Obviously that's our main goal to start off with, but then after that we want to go further in the playoffs this year and we want to try to do better than we did last year.
Up next on Portside, the University of Portland Student Athlete Advisory Committee raises money for childhood cancer research.
I think it just shows how connected the campus is really, and especially in the athletic department, how close-knit everyone is.
Back here on Portside with the Pilots, each year the University of Portland Student Athlete Advisory Committee hosts a St. Baldrick's head shaving event to raise money for childhood cancer research. With the UP men's soccer team once again taking the lead, student athletes set out to exceed last year's event that raised over $12,000.
It's so crazy how many people are just all about it and they love coming out. It's just kind of grown with the whole campus. We have basketball players shaving heads, getting their heads shaved, tennis players getting their heads shaved. IT guys come, Brother Tom's shaving his head, and it's great to see what a community this campus is.
I'm out here just to stand in solidarity. It's a good cause. It's really cool what the men's soccer team does, and the men's tennis team supports it 100%.
I think it just shows how connected the campus is really, and especially in the athletic department, how close-knit everyone is. Because as soon as we talked about St. Baldrick's, other teams wanted to get in on it.
This is my first time shaving my head, and during the middle of the season we were talking about St. Baldrick's, and shaving our heads goes beyond just a haircut. It's for a good cause, and I always want to be able to do stuff that helps other people, and as athletes we have a platform to do that.
We just use the talent show as another avenue to raise as much money as we can.
How much would you like to get for your hair?
I would like to at least get, let's say, $50.
All right. Everyone really enjoys the fact that we have a talent show, and I think it goes great that we can connect it to St. Baldrick's and raise more money because of the talent show.
We got $20. Do I have $21?
Back corner. And that shows just how generous people are that are here and willing to support a good cause. We want to remember why we're doing this event and talk a little bit about St. Baldrick's. So I would like to ask Anita, Isidro, and Junior to come up.
Isidro was diagnosed with cancer when he was 5 years old. St. Baldrick's is an excellent organization because when kids get cancer, when they're little, a long time ago, they would just give them adult treatment. I'm thankful for St. Baldrick's being around because maybe the second time around wasn't so harmful on him as it was the first time around.
It's great having Anita and Isidro and his brother out here just because it's awesome to see what this foundation actually does and who the people that it affects, because Isidro's now in remission and hopefully it'll stay that way.
Isidro, he has battled cancer twice, and so he survived it twice. So I learned about St. Baldrick's when he was in the clinic. Community is getting involved. It means word is getting out there. It means that people can continue to give so that research can continue to be sought out. It's nice to see that it is a foundation that is donating to what it's meaning for.
I think it just really reinforces what we're doing, and it's cool to just see what we can do when we're come together and raise a lot of money for a great cause.
I thought that was creative. Good job.
There you have it right there. Creative and good job. Fantastic job, women's soccer.
And in first place, women's basketball. For us, it's not just having a men's soccer thing, but it's really how can we raise more money? Because as much as it's a soccer event, it's really about the kids that we can help. And so the more teams, the better. And so it's now become an entire athletic department type thing instead of just men's soccer thing.
Back here on Portside, last fall was a historic season for the University of Portland men's soccer team that captured the hearts of the UP campus and Portland soccer community. On Tuesday, April 25th, we will debut our documentary titled Begin with the End in Mind in the Pilot House on the University of Portland campus at 4:30 p.m. And we hope that you can join us. Here's a preview of the documentary, and with that, we'll see you on next month's show.
If you were to tell me at the beginning of the season when Coach Nick first came in that on my final day, my senior day, we would be playing for a WCC title if we won, everyone would have been stoked in the locker room.
Everybody was just really ramped up to come to the game, and it was a great moment to share community even before we got into the stadium.
This was a citywide deal. It was great to see that the Timbers embrace it. It was great to see the local youth soccer leagues embrace it. But most importantly, the university embraced it. We've had some great moments and some good crowds, but when I walked into Merlo Field that night, that atmosphere was electric. And that was what that team had built.
That was a really special night.
It was a series of small events all coming together in a perfect fashion, in a perfect storm, on a great night.
The game really started out with a bang, scoring in the first 5 minutes.
Quick restart by the Pilots. That's Coffee into the net. Goal, Portland! What a start by the Pilots as Coffee gives the home side the 1-0 lead.
That's how you want to kick off. 6 minutes into the game, clinical finish. That's an experienced finish and a poised finish. Pilots are up 1-0.
When the clock was ticking down at the end of the game, you could just sense the energy, the nervousness all around the crew, and then once it finally hit 0, people started storming the field, and it was just a magical moment, to say the least. Never expected to experience that in my time here, so it was awesome to go out on that note.
Ball sent forward. Time is going to run out on the Gales, and the Portland Pilots are the 2016 West Coast Conference champions.
When the clock hit 0, it was one of those games when you win, you don't want that moment to go away. You want to stay on the field as long as possible. You want the celebration to go on as long as possible.
Just total elation. It was so great to be with the students as they celebrated that win and the conference championship.
When we came, we said one quote, begin with the end in mind. The whole team, the whole program, it's so rare to find a group of guys that are this committed to each other. That's magical, and life's all about creating magical moments. You guys have just worked so hard. I'm so proud of every one of you guys for putting the team first. I mean, it's incredible. And tonight, you'll have that memory for the rest of your life. You'll be considered a champion for the rest of your life.
This has been so great for our campus. There are so many people that are really behind our teams, and to have a great championship like this to celebrate, it's really wonderful for all of us.
To
to be able to share that with the students. They really did deserve it as much as we did, just being behind us, and yeah, they were unbelievable this year and we couldn't have done it without them.
The 9 seniors that will forever be part of the program, we'll miss them. They left a big legacy, big shoes to fill for the guys next year. They were the fabric behind the transformation. What they did is they established a winning culture, a fantastic tradition, and a mindset in the locker room that now the young guys have to really nurture and care and build and pay that forward.
Our previous coaches, they always had a saying, leave this place better than you found it. And being able to do that and bring the program back to a championship program, it's all you can ask for, really.
One last time. One team, one goal, one family. 1, 2, 3.
One team, one goal, one family.
I mean, it still hasn't really hit me that I'm done here, that I've really hung up the boots. But I mean, I'll always be a pilot and I'll always be supporting the guys. But really to put the program back on the map, people will want to come to Portland now, and I think our recruiting classes with our current coaches, the sky's the limit now with this group. I'm just really excited to see what we can do from here.